Zen's Business Development Podcast is dedicated to supporting tea entrepreneurship by providing content on innovation, business strategies, trends in the tea industry, and more. If you have any topics you'd like covered, leave them in the comment below, and please like and subscribe. Welcome to episode number 1, Zen's Business Development Podcast, dedicated to tea entrepreneurs. I want to thank you, Yasindu, for being my first guest for this business podcast.
Hi, my name is Yasindu. My parents come from a tea background. We have a company here in California where we import and export teas from all over the globe. We package it for retail brands here. Furthermore, I have an own brand, Saka Teas, where we sell it to direct to consumers.
Awesome. Way to just jump right into it.
Right.
Didn't even give you an intro, but good job, Yasindu. So Yasindu and I've known you for, a couple years now?
Right.
Been working with your family for a number of years. And people who go into the tea industry typically have a background in tea, but not as much as you and your family. Your family, you're born into a tea family.
Kind of. We got into the tea business recently. We were lucky enough to have partners that were really knowledgeable in the tea industry. So that's how my family became into the tea industry. We had friends and relatives in the tea industry, and Sri Lanka is really known for their tea industry.
I guess when I say you have friends and family in the tea industry, as in you have people who like work in that field. Right. Yeah, that's way better than 90%, probably 99% of American tea aspiring entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
aspiring tea entrepreneurs. So I think it's awesome that you joined us in this episode because you have a unique background. And I think a lot of people who want to start a tea business, they don't know where to start. You had the connections, you had the wholesale, and you started a tea business, and it was a struggle.
Right.
Which, by the way, starting a tea business is difficult, even if you have friends and family in the industry. Yasindu, what were some of the challenges that you encountered as a tea entrepreneur when you just started?
Right. So my plans were to go into the retail space immediately, like Walmarts and Targets of the world. We realized quickly that requires a lot of capital and a lot of work and a bigger team to realize that. And that comes at a huge capital expenditure. And we weren't prepared to spend that much money into getting to retail.
It's a big risk too.
Yep, exactly.
So when you say a lot of money,
all
right, I'm an American, I'm Mexican American, not actually a tea, Mexican American. But I'm first and foremost an American. As a military man, definitely give a thumbs up for the military guys, military entrepreneurs. But as an American, a lot of money to us almost is astronomical to some of the poorer countries. Sri Lanka is great as far as how much resources, but financially the GDP is a struggle. So how much money when you say a lot, how much money does it take to get into a big retail store?
I would say here in the US, typically you don't go into just one retail store. You go into like a multiple, like a chain, a Target. They do distribution to their own stores. So typically when you go into that route, it takes about 50 to 100,000, which is a lot of money.
Up front, like just 50 to 100,000?
So there's expenditures like brokers, and then there's packaging costs, product costs. You don't get paid immediately after you give the store their product. It takes time for them to pay, and it takes a long time for you to get your money back.
So tea aspiring entrepreneurs, if you want to start a tea business, shooting for the sky, getting the Walmarts and the big companies of the world is probably not the best move to forward. And you learned that, right? So you tried it, struggle, bounce back. Entrepreneurs all the time. I'm going to say this again. Tea aspiring entrepreneurs, the first time you struggle, that's normal. It's all about how you get back up and move forward. What did you do, Yasindu?
So I started off making a website, and then we start moving to direct consumer sales. So that way, your channels like Amazon and website, we started moving sales slowly, and we realized quickly that was the best way to go moving forward. Making those sales, building your brand, making your brand aware, like recognition higher.
So you you had your website
Uh-huh.
and then you started selling just on Amazon?
On Amazon and Walmart, we realized Walmart wasn't the best avenue because it was competitive.
Wait, you weren't on the shelves of Walmart. You were just on the
On the online
Walmart
store.
online store.
Right.
It's crazy. So you could be selling like I'm a Walmart retailer,
Uh-huh.
but
You're just on the online store.
how much was that?
So Walmart is different. They only charge a percentage of the sales you make.
No upfront costs?
No upfront cost.
No. So if I want to do it, what would I need to do?
You just need to register, make your certifications known, and register with Walmart. Set up your sales, set up your banking, and everything's like that. And then once everything's set, you're pretty much ready to go and launch. And you do the distribution yourselves.
Nice. When you say distribution, essentially you sell, ship it, right?
Right. You sell and ship it.
It's nice. So that was Walmart. Now Amazon. Like I've heard mixed reviews on people with Amazon. Like you sold on Amazon.
Right.
How was your experience building a tea business and then selling on Amazon?
Right. Amazon is very competitive. There's so many tea brands on Amazon that it's really hard to stand out. I think that goes for a lot of people. You probably think your like idea is unique, but once you hit Amazon, you quickly realize that the market's completely saturated, and the only
Tea.
way, yeah,
Tea.
especially.
Tea especially.
hmm And then one point is to differentiate yourself is the pricing, making yourself cheaper, but that also comes with the added risk of being not able to make a profit.
Zen's Tea House is not a cheap brand.
Right.
It's why we don't sell on Amazon or Walmart. We don't want to be associated with that.
Yeah.
So you're okay. You did that. How was it coming from background in tea? How was it like now actually building a brand for yourself? Because you had brokers and family in that industry. How was it building your own brand? Like, were you able to look at what other tea businesses were doing to get you a heads up, or what was that about?
Right. Since I was involved in the wholesale tea business with my family, I was more aware of an average individual about the different products and the different ideas that people were going into when they're selling tea products. And that certainly helped me launch my product forward.
So you're looking at the competition.
Right.
What were some of the things that good, successful tea brands, maybe not like major tea brands like Lipton, which you know about Lipton, right?
Right.
You guys sell to a lot of the big guys, don't you?
We do.
You don't have to mention their names because
Right.
that's a no in the tea industry. Don't name drop. What were some of the aspects of a successful tea brand?
I would say a successful tea brand. They're focused on one thing. I don't think you can appeal to everyone. I think tea is a very niche product. You either consume appeal to the general consumer like Lipton and all those major tea brands, or you appeal to health conscious folks with health benefits of the different teas and herbs. And I think there's different ways you can go about selling teas and the different niches. Sri Lankan tea gardens. I was there recently with my family, and we saw the tea being grown in the tea fields. It was very beautiful. It's on a mountaintop. It's cloudy. It's not too bright. It's just perfect. But there's wild animals everywhere. There's a lot of
So it's like a farm. It's like a wild land.
right. It's kind of like a forest, except it's mostly tea. There's wild boars and snakes and leeches and
Leeches. Do you have any leeches on you?
yeah, I had a couple on me.
Oh man, when I was in India, tea gardens, there was a huge buffalo.
Right.
It was gigantic. It was taller than me.
Right.
It was 6.5 feet tall, and it was a big old little tank.
Okay. Yeah.
You see any stuff like that, Ashwell?
I was lucky enough to not see stuff like that. Mostly there's wild boars and wild pigs. But fortunately we went through daytime, so they don't really come out till nighttime. So we're lucky enough to not see that.
Man, you know what? It's tea gardens. People who are watching, they have this view, and you probably see it, like people who you've seen it, right? And some of the tea brands, they're like, oh, I'm at this tea garden, or I'm at this tea mountain, and they put a good show, but the truth is, it is very rural. It is not a very clean environment.
Right.
Don't get too dirty there, but like, what was some of the things that, like, what people who are watching the tea garden, you know, what is it worth going to? Did going to tea gardens actually change the way you look at tea?
Yes, I think going to a tea garden does change your view on how like tea is made. You really see the rural aspect of how tea is made. You see the people that are working these factories, that are working these tea fields. They're actually not in the best of conditions. Most of them don't have cars, they don't have vehicles.
They don't really need cars. I mean,
right?
It's walking. It's
right.
rural.
Yeah, and it's but they have to walk for like tens of miles to get to the houses and back and forth to the tea field. So it's a very tough job for these workers. Yeah,
keeps them in shape.
It does, especially in mountains, climbing hills, and
yeah. When I was in was it Burma,
right?
Myanmar. They used to see these people walk up these mountains, and they would actually like put people on their backs and walk them up there.
Yeah,
they're too old. The type of people that grow up in rural countries, that's all they know. That's right. Their environment.
Right.
So, you know, I'm glad I wasn't sure how you would say it, because I thought that, you know, you being there wouldn't really change how you look at tea or the tea industry. I know it did for me when I had some senior staff. I had sent them to tea gardens. I said, look, if you're going to work together, you're going to be my partner. We're going to go into this together. I'm going to pay for you to go check out a tea garden, because it changes the way you look at tea.
It does. That
being said, do you really need to, if you're a tea business, a tea entrepreneur, does going to tea garden actually change the way you do business? Do you think it helps you as a business owner?
I wouldn't say it changes the way you do business. I can't say spending thousands of dollars to visit tea gardens, flights and hotels and getting tour guides is worth it for an entrepreneur to start going out to a tea garden. It's certainly an experience that if you have the money available, you should experience. It's a very unique experience that not everyone has. So I think if you are capable of going to a tea garden without sacrificing other aspects of your business, I think it's worth going to a tea garden.
The first time I went to a tea garden, it was my second year in business.
Right.
I actually missed the LA Tea Festival because I just so happened to go at that time. Right. It was monsoon season. It's tea entrepreneurs. This is a tea entrepreneur, Yasindu. What advice would you give to the tea entrepreneur who's just about to get started, or is, wants to pull the trigger? What advice would you give them?
I would say start small, dream big. That means like going to like farmers market, getting those small sales, building brand recognition, getting awareness out there by your brand, just getting more people interested in your brand and getting more sales is that final point. But also having the willingness to expand and grow and hire people and build more products and build more engaging products that people really enjoy.
Awesome. Thanks, Yasindu.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
You're the first podcast team for the tea entrepreneurship.
Right. Thank you.